Hi everybody, welcome back to A Glittery Life. I'm so happy that you're joining me today. And before I get into today's review video of the Natasha Denona Purple Blue 28 palette, eyeshadow palette, I want to just remind you that I do have the A Glittery Life app available for free in the App Store on whatever, for iPhones in the App Store. Also, if you haven't visited my blog, www.aglitterylife.com, you're missing out, especially if you're on the fence about any of the Natasha Denona blushes or lip glazes or the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Foundation. I have swatches, beautiful swatches of all of that on my blog right now. The blushes are broken up into relevant categories so that anybody can find something that's right for them. So head over there, I'll link it down below and check that out. And if you haven't subscribed to A Glittery Life yet and you're just kind of lurking around or you're new to my channel, it would mean so much to me if you would hit that button right down there and subscribe and help grow this glittery family. So anyway, now let's talk eyeshadow. I started out with the green brown, kind of thinking I might not end up getting the purple blues because the green brown just really looked like it would be in my wheelhouse, whereas some colors in this just kind of looked like I was like, oh, I don't know if I would ever use it. It's really expensive. But what happened was I got the green brown and then had to have this one. And oddly enough, I prefer this one. I know, isn't that so funny? I feel like the green brown is so beautiful because it's so neutral. But honestly, I find myself gravitating towards this palette way more, especially like this kind of like whole portion of it. In fact, there are 4 shades, these 4 shades right here that I haven't had a chance to play with yet. But I still do feel like I can do a great review because I've worn this palette every day since I got it. I did take one day off to wear some new Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadows, but as much as I liked those, have quickly gone back to the Natasha palette. It's really interesting because, so this palette is $239, which comes out to roughly just under $9 a shadow, and each shadow is 0.08 grams. So a MAC eyeshadow is 0.04 grams. To give you a reference in size-wise, this is double the amount of product as a MAC eyeshadow. However, I feel like they perform a lot better, and you guys know I'm actually pretty ride or die for MAC eyeshadows. I really, really love them, and definitely am like very favorable to MAC eyeshadows, but I've just never found anything like this. You know, I gave the green brown palette a 5-star review. This one's going to be the same. So if you're looking for like hater reviews on the Natasha palette, I guess you could click out right here because you're not going to get it from me. There is a handful of factors that are why this is a 5-star palette for me. But before I even talk about that, I do want to just talk about really quickly that I've gotten to spend an extended amount of time actually with Natasha, learning from her, once in January and then again a couple weeks ago while I was in San Francisco with her for the like whole line launch with Beautylish. And every time I'm with her, I'm just amazed by the kind of person that she is, but she's such a talented makeup artist, and I feel like I've learned a lot as a makeup artist with her. And one of my favorite things that she's really kind of like taught me recently is that these are perfectly applied with your fingers. In fact, the eye look that I have on today is a combination of this shade, no, what am I looking at? Yes. This shade right here all over the eye and blurred up into the, or like smudged up into the crease, this rose gold on top of it, and then this in the inner corner. And I've used my fingers literally to do everything. It takes me about 5 seconds to do each eye with my fingers, like complete eye. So I know it's a little bit more difficult to see my eye look now that my bangs are back, but let me just close these eyes really quick so you can kind of see what that looks like and how pretty that is. Just so simple, and I never feel like I can achieve a finger application that looks gorgeous and looks beautifully blended with a MAC shadow, or probably even like, actually I don't know any powder shadows that I could achieve that with. So for that reason alone, this product is a real standout for me. The amount of product that you're getting is a real standout for me, and the performance. It's really funny because I don't know if you guys caught the interview that I did actually with Natasha on Beautylish. I'll link that down below because I do have a audio link for that interview that I think is worth listening to. It is an hour long, but she gives some like really fantastic information and pro tips and all kinds of stuff. But she kind of gets on my case a little bit because I use a primer with these shadows, and you don't have to use a primer, but I have an oily lid, so I use the MAC Painterly paint pot, and she's like totally like anti that. But I have found for me that if I do use the paint pot with these, I literally can get like 12-hour pretty flawless look with them. I'm actually sure I could probably get longer wear. In fact, a friend of mine can get like 15 hours out of them if she uses a primer. So that is pretty impressive. Like, I just even think about the fact that we just did the makeup show LA, and from 7 a.m. to like 7 p.m. my eyeshadow looked pretty flawless. So, and I've also found that with the finger application, I don't get any fallout. So if you're having a problem with fallout, once again, I will say that you just want to use a little product, and you want to tap like very gently. And you want to tap like very gently in terms of like picking up the product. And you don't even like, I don't even rub. I usually just like tap, and you can see how much product that's like giving off. That's pretty impressive. And then I just use like what's left, like that amount, just to kind of blend it up into the crease. That's really hard to just like show you on my hand, sorry. But I really do think that like you don't need very much product. You certainly don't need to touch very hard. And it is hard because I do find that natural hair brushes work better with these. I know some of you only use synthetic brushes, and I can't fault you for that, but especially using a synthetic brush, you want to just very lightly tap in. Otherwise you're going to pick up too much product, and that could also lead to fallout as well. But proper application and proper use, and the less is more, you're not gonna have that fallout. And what I've realized too is while I'm putting it on my eye, while I'm packing it, like patting it on my eye, the more I actually touch it and warm it up, the more vibrant and the more pigmented it gets. So I do feel like if you're gonna use your finger, you're gonna get a more pigmented eye than you are gonna get with a brush. So it just depends on like what you like and what you're kind of like into in terms of like aesthetic. But I honestly think for the price, for the quality of product, for the wear time, for the pigmentation, for the sheer beauty alone of the product, you know, they are made with crushed pearls, which is why you can get like this kind of pigmentation out of a shadow. Just because, oh my gosh, I just like, it's so beautiful. Obviously, I think it's important to be an informed consumer. $239 is a lot of money to spend on anything, let alone 28 eyeshadows. But when you start like breaking it down per price, it's really honestly so reasonable. Now, it doesn't mean that this palette is for everybody. It doesn't mean that everybody's gonna like it. It doesn't mean that everybody's gonna feel like it's necessary or want it. But it really is 100%, in my opinion, worth the splurge. And as a consumer, I hope you do your due diligence and you do your research like I did. And obviously, one of the best things that you can do is actually touch it and see it for yourself. The other thing is, find other YouTubers other than me that you trust, that you believe, check out their reviews, read some blog reviews. I have a lot of friends that have really done some fantastic reviews and swatches. I'll link some of those blogs down below so you can head to see actual like swatches. I'm not going to swatch the whole palette on this video because I really just kind of wanted to do just a specific review for you. Because if you are thinking about like, oh, this is like an investment, do I want to do it? I 100% would encourage you to do it. And actually, if I could only buy one palette, I would buy the purple blue instead of the green brown. I know that's so crazy, especially because I have blue eyes, and so it just doesn't make necessarily a lot of sense, and especially because I love like a warm eye look. That's really what I gravitate towards. But in terms of like just the wow factor and how wearable and how like wearably stunning this palette is and the looks that you can create with it, I think this is the real showstopper of the two and the one that you just can't pass up. So, you know, and thankfully Beautylish does things like their payment plan and with 0 interest, like, you know, all that kind of stuff. If you're not familiar with that, you can make 3 payments. Now, some of you are like, no, I would never do that. That's okay, no worries. But for some of you, it is an affordable way to kind of get some pretty like high-end makeup at a very reasonable, affordable way to do it. So I'm going to I'll put a link down to this product, and I'll also put a link if I can find the information about FlexPay on Beautylicious website, I'll link that down below as well so that you can read about it and see for yourself whether it's right for you. And for any of those of you who are having like concerns about the talc, listen to the interview that I do with Natasha. She addresses that, and she's very honest, she's very truthful, she's very articulate, and you will see that it's not a big deal. But listen for yourself. Like I said, being an educated consumer is the best thing that we can do for ourselves. And if you're worried about what these shadows look like on darker skin tones, girl, bonkers. It's so beautiful. If you are in that darker skin tone family, I would 100% recommend the purple blue. I keep saying that wrong. Sorry. The purple blue palette, because that really is going to be so stunning on a darker, warmer skin tone. But obviously I am so fair and can't stop wearing it. So I really hope this was helpful for you. And as always, you can count on me for a really honest review, and I hope that you can see I'm not being paid for this video. Just because I love Natasha and because I think she's fantastic, or just because I love Beautylish, doesn't mean I'll rave about everything that Beautylish carries, because you've seen some of my cosmetics videos. Anyway, that's another topic for another day. So I hope this was helpful for you, and thanks so much for watching. If this was helpful, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet to A Glittery Life, I would sure love it if you did. So thanks so much and have a great day. Bye.